Joining us this morning for today's health is Donaldson from Excel Weight Loss to talk about the language of weight. Thank you so much for joining us
You're
this
welcome.
morning. Now, I'm sure this is something that everyone's done. We're all guilty of the language of weight,
yes.
saying that we shouldn't eat this or we feel guilty about eating this.
Yes.
And so kind of explain what that means when we say these kind of things when we're about to eat.
Right. Well, what happens is what I call the language of weight is maybe you wake up in the morning and say, oh my gosh, I'm too fat, or I look horrible, or I'm stressed, or no matter what I do, I can't lose weight. And the problem with that is that you think that that is true, and then it almost becomes a self-manifestation. It becomes true. It's like your brain is listening to what you're saying, and your brain says, okay, we can go ahead and make that happen for you. Because we turn on different stress hormones as well when that happens, especially when we have anxiety or guilt or fear, then we sort of activate that fight or flight response, and we have stress hormones running through our body, and that certainly doesn't help us lose weight. That can actually help you gain weight or not be able to lose weight as well. So I really ask people to think about how they talk about themselves and their weight before they start to try to lose weight or release that weight.
So are there some tips, when you wake up in the morning and you look in the mirror?
Yes.
So obviously those are some things that we should try to avoid so that you don't get those stress levels up. But what's like a daily practice someone should do?
Meditation is always a really good idea, to do some meditating, but looking in the mirror and doing some mirror work is a good idea too. So even just looking in the mirror and saying something like, I'm amazing, or I'm wonderful. And it may be hard to say at first. You might not really want to believe it, but after a while your brain will start to believe it. It believes all the other stuff. So you might as well try to put some positive stuff in, right? It believes when you say you're ugly or you're not worthy or something like that. So trying to switch around the way that we talk to ourselves becomes really important.
And then it will definitely get the body image anxiety out of there, the stress out of there.
Yes.
So then what happens then when you sit in front of that plate of food and you might feel guilty about it? You're saying that right before the break that we should enjoy it.
Yes, and I brought chocolate as an example because what happens a lot of times, especially with treats like chocolate or cookies or something, say if somebody wanted to have a piece of chocolate and they, oh my gosh, I shouldn't be eating this, this is going to make me gain weight, this is horrible, I'm a bad person, then they have guilt about that and they probably feel worse about themselves, so maybe they'll even eat more. Maybe they'll eat the whole bag or the whole bag of cookies, which totally defeats the purpose of, just having a piece of chocolate. So I always joke with my clients that the calories will count whether you eat them with guilt or whether you eat them with joy. But in fact, they might actually count less if you eat them with joy. So if you're going to have a piece of chocolate, then sit down and enjoy it and actually
really
taste it,
savor
it, let your brain register, wow, I just really enjoyed a piece of chocolate, instead of denying it and then just having more and having the whole thing fail because of that.
And would you say it's better to enjoy it and savor the piece of chocolate than to not have it at all?
Kind of depends. That's where we really get into cravings and the real emotions behind food. So if you're having a craving and you think, oh, I'll just have this chocolate because it will make that craving go away. So if it's just a food craving, sometimes that works, but usually it's not just a food craving. It's likely some emotion. You might be bored, you might be lonely, maybe you're frustrated or angry or stressed about something. And then what you would ask yourself is, I wonder what I'm really craving. Maybe you need some attention, maybe you need some love. And in that case, there is no amount of chocolate or anything else that's going to fill up that void. And then you've got to take a look at healing what's really going on.
So any other last words, languages of weight that we should know about? I
think the first step is just be very mindful. So maybe for the rest of the day at each of the meals, or your meals or my meals, we would take a moment and just pause before we start to eat and look at the food and be mindful of, really, are we having physical hunger? Is it emotional hunger? Or what else might be going on? What might we really be craving?
And then also standing in front of the mirror this morning, getting ready, just enjoy it. Right?
Exactly. I'm amazing. And if you don't believe it, keep on saying it and give it some time. It'll take more than a day or two, right?
Yeah. And then if that's hard work, have a piece of chocolate.
And read the cute message on the inside. That will make you feel better too. Exactly. Right.
Well, thank you so much for all of that.